Hi vinyl community, Mike here, and today I'm going to show you some of the records that I picked up during November. So here goes. So first off, it's a new band. They're called Umlauts, as in the two little dots above the letter U in German, and this is their debut album. It's called Slags, and as you can see, it's got some rather fetching slugs on the cover. And they're also on the milky white vinyl. There's one slug on that, and then another slug on there. Now, this is a British band. I suppose you could describe them as industrial synth pop. They formed when they met at Wimbledon Art College in South London. And they're very much an international band. You know, they've got people from Germany, France, Italy, and the UK. And in fact, their songs are sung in German, English, French, and Italian, sometimes swapping from one language to another during the course of one song. I really love this band. Really getting into them. So on side one, you've got track called Energy Plan, and Dance and Go, which I think was a single, which is pretty good. Then Frightened, and then there's a track called Boiler Suits and Combat Boots, and that's very much a tribute to Kraftwerk. I think it sounds very Kraftwerky, and in fact quite a lot of their music, you know, I think owes something to that. You know, that industrial electronica that you know, Kraftwerk is so good at. This is the inner with all the lyrics on. So, you know, I'd heartily recommend this band. So they're called the Umlauts, and this is their one and only album so far, called Slags. Right, next up, it's a reissue that I was really pleased to get hold of. I've had this on CD for many years. Issued in 2004 originally, and this is Regina Spektor, although it could be Regina, I'm really not sure. She was born in the Soviet Union in Moscow, and her father was a concert pianist, and at the age of 9 she moved to New York because both parents were actually American citizens, I believe. And at that point, you know, she really started to get into sort of the local music scene. She was already a very accomplished pianist, and she joined something called the anti-folk scene in the East Village in New York City, and other members of the anti-folk scene included people like Cindy Lee Berryhill and Michelle Shocked, apparently. And all it is really is that they were sort of reacting against the over seriousness, as they saw it, of the folk revival movement. So, you know, Regina Spektor is an absolutely brilliant singer, songwriter, and you know, some of her lyrics are absolutely brilliant, and her piano playing is first class. She says she's influenced by the likes of Joni Mitchell and Annie DiFranco. This is the inner hit, and it's on nice yellow vinyl. And I think that picture of her on the front cover sort of sums up her whole sort of attitude, really. You know, tracks on here include the opening track, which is called Ode to Divorce, and then there's Poor Little Rich Boy, Carbon Monoxide, which is a particular favourite of mine. Then others, Ghost of Corporate Future is a great one, Chemo Limo, and Some Days. But this is an absolutely brilliant album, and I was really pleased that it was reissued on vinyl, because I've been wanting to get that for quite some time. So there you go, that's Regina or Regina Spektor. Another singer-songwriter that I really love is Charlotte Gainsbourg. And again, this is a reissue. This is a 2006 album, 555. And you probably know that Charlotte Gainsbourg is the daughter of Serge Gainsbourg and Jane Birkin. Again, I remember I got this on CD when it came out, and it's absolutely lovely album. It made #1 in France and sold 500,000 copies. In the United States, it sold 20,000 copies, although apparently Rolling Stone magazine named the title track 555 as one of their top 100 songs of 2006. So she's in collaboration here in the production of this album with a French duo called Air and also Jarvis Cocker. And in fact, Jarvis Cocker is credited with lyrics on all but one of the tracks on this album. So, I mean, 555, absolutely brilliant track. I love that. And then there's the Songs That We Sing, which is one of those written by Jarvis Cocker, which was also a single, I believe, and that's a lovely song. And then there's the Tel K2S, again, that's great. But I mean, there's not a bad song, on this album. I really love Charlotte Gainsbourg. I remember back in 1993 at the Leeds Festival, they had the world premiere of one of her films, which was The Cement Garden, and it's based on a book by Ian McEwan. And the film was directed by Andrew Birkin, who is the brother of Jane Birkin, and Charlotte was the star. It's a very, it's quite dark comic film, and it's absolutely brilliant. You don't actually see it. I mean, you don't see it anymore, maybe because of the subject matter or whatever. I mean, it's basically about a group of children, and they're living in a house with their parents, or sorry, with their mother, and their mother dies, and they don't know what to do. They fear that they'd be split up if they notify the authorities that their mother has died. So they attempt to cover it up. They bury their mother in the garden under some cement, and Charlotte is the oldest sister. I think she's called Julie in the film. Assumes the role of mother to the other children. It's a very, very strange film, but it's absolutely brilliant. So you get the chance to see that. But this is a brilliant album as well. So there you go, Charlotte Gainsbourg and 555. So what have we next? Well, the rest of these records, I suppose I could really categorise these as saying Ben made me buy these. Now, I don't know if you know Ben Rankins down in Melbourne in Australia. He's a really nice guy. He means well, but he recommends so many absolutely brilliant albums. And, you know, particularly if you're into punk, garage, Nick Cave, the Mighty King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, any brilliant music, he'll recommend something that is usually Australian that you really have to go out and buy. And unfortunately, I'm a real sucker for these. So, you know, you need quite deep pockets, or really you need a lot of willpower to resist some of these. So the first one up is Straight Arrows, and it's called It's Happening. And this is their debut album from 2010. And I remember Ben recommending this, and he did a needle drop. And you know, the record arrived, and I put it on the turntable, and I thought, this is absolutely dreadful. This is an awful record. I didn't remember it being quite such a dirge. Then I looked at the label, and yes, it plays at 45 RPM, not 33. So once I put it on the right speed, it's an absolutely brilliant garage punk album. And it comes with this, a bonus CD called A Deck of Aces. And, you know, Straight Arrows are one of those punk bands that, you know, they just get on with it. And, none of the tracks on here, I think, sort of go beyond, 2.5, 3 minutes. So what have we got? Bad Temper, that's good. Golden Torch, Running Wild, It Happens Again. In fact, all the tracks on here. If you like a good bit of garage punk, you know, get into these guys. They're Australian. They're from Sydney. And they're brilliant. Right, now then, the Mighty Civic, and I picked up this one the other day. This is New Vietnam singles, and basically it's Civic's EP New Vietnam plus their early singles made into an album. So it says a collection of music released between 2018 2019 via Anti-Fade Records, and Civic released I think their second album this year called Taken by Force, and I picked that up, and that's going to be one of my top albums of 2023. But then I saw this was coming out. It was released about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I just had to have it, and it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, although it's a compilation of singles and an EP, it really stands together as an album. Again, it's very garagey, very punky, and these guys are from Melbourne, same as Ben, and the record is mastered by the great Mikey Young. So if you see Mikey Young's name on the credits, that's almost certainly a guarantee that there's going to be a brilliant Australian record, and it certainly is. So that's Civic, and if you like garage punk, Civic are really one of the number one exponents of that sort of music. So that's absolutely brilliant. Now, Ben showed this the other day, and it's by a singer-songwriter called Jen Clower. And Ben said, if you like Courtney Barnett, then you'd like Jen Clower. And so I had a listen, and it was quite right. And in fact, Jen was the partner of Courtney Barnett, and also founded Milk Records, which is the label that this record is on, with Courtney. And this album, which I think is her second album, was done in collaboration with Courtney. So all the songs were written by Jen Clower. Courtney Barnett shares the vocals on here. And really, if you didn't know and you put this record on, you could believe that you're actually listening to a Courtney Barnett album. So Jen Clower's from Adelaide, and I don't know what really is the best track on here. Shoegazers I really like. Forget Myself, which is a track that sounds very, very much like a Courtney Barnett track. And Waiting in the Wings, Dark Art. But this is an absolutely brilliant album. In fact, it's so brilliant that I had to go out and buy another Jen Clower album. And this one's very different, and it's a 2023 release, and it's called I Am the River Is Me. And in this album, she moves a little bit away from the sort of alternative rock style of the second album, and she explores her Maori roots. And again, it's on Milk Records, and it comes in this sort of the white sort of marble pattern. And as I say, she's very much exploring her roots as somebody whose grandmother, I think, was Maori. Tracks on here again. Title track is absolutely brilliant, and then the first track on side one, Mana Takatapui, It's really, really beautiful song. And apparently Takatapuhi, in the particular language that Jen's ancestors speak, means a friend of the same sex, and apparently it's been the word has been adopted by the LGBTQ community to mean, well, just that. And yeah, so you got protest song, The Wild, you know, I'm Coming Home, which is the final track. Again, you know, I would heartily recommend this. And in fact, although I'd not heard of Jen 3 or 4 weeks ago, I would have this up there again, at least in my top 5 of albums from 2023. So anyway, thanks very much, Ben, for recommending this. You always come up trumps, even though it costs me an awful lot of money. So that's it for probably for new releases for this year, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.